Coming up next on this edition of In the City, we hear from 3 recently elected city council members. Also, the Center for the Arts brings some soul to Murfreesboro. Plus, the city held a groundbreaking ceremony for the newest city school being built on St. Andrews Drive. And Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue receives a prestigious award. We'll tell you all about those stories and more coming up right now on this edition of In the City. Welcome to another edition of In the City, your source for what's happening right here in the city of Murfreesboro. I'm Michael Linn White. On August 2nd, Murfreesboro voters elected 3 city council members. We were there on election night to congratulate the winners. For 2 returning and 1 newly elected city council members, it's time to get to work as primary elections are now over. Join us as we hear from each of your recently elected city council members from the August 2nd election. Vice Mayor Madeline Scales Harris gets the most votes for her 3rd term and says carrying on her family's legacy means everything.
I ran in memory of my mother and father this time, and so I'm sure they're rejoicing in heaven. I'm just really excited to just keep on doing what I've been doing. I want to do more for the people. We serve God by serving our fellow man, and I'm a servant, and God has once again put me in this role.
Rick LaLance comes in second for his 2nd term and tells us he is thankful for the opportunity to continue to serve.
I view this as very much just a service role, and you know, it's obviously an honor to be able to serve the other citizens of Murfreesboro, and I'm glad that it's you know, that it's worked out this way to be able to serve another 4 years and hopefully continue to get some good stuff done.
And first-time city council member Ronnie Martin comes in 3rd. He says the support and sacrifice of his loved ones made all the difference.
I could not have come anywhere near to having done the things we did without their support, especially my wife Cynthia. She was there. She worked every bit as hard as I worked. She was with me every step of the way. My kids gave up. They made sacrifices for things they wanted to do because they wanted to support and help me. And when you can win and everybody works hard and your family's contributing and the people that care about you, your friends, you know, they're willing to invest time and energy, it just makes it extremely rewarding.
Other election winners include City Mayor Shane McFarland, Bill Ketron for Rutherford County Mayor, and for City School Board, Rebecca Goff, Amanda Moore, and Roseanne Barton, and for the unexpired term seat, David LaRoche. Reporting for CityTV, Michael Linn White. For a complete list of all of the August 2nd Rutherford County election results, visit www.election.rutherfordcountytn.gov. The Murfreesboro Center for the Arts brings the Tony Award-winning musical Memphis to the stage to sold-out crowds. Here at the Murfreesboro Center for the Arts, they're at it again with the Broadway hit Memphis the Musical. There's no need to run to Nashville when you want to do something fun. Stay right here in town and catch one of the amazing shows at the Center for the Arts right off of the Murfreesboro Square.
So if you like the sound of my voice and you want to hear some real music.
Memphis the Musical is a Tony Award-winning musical inspired by actual people and events from 1950s Memphis.
It's about this man who's a white man who fell in love with music made by black artists. They called it race music at the time, basically blues and R&B. And so he fell in love with it, and he fell in love with it for the reasons that we fall in love with music, because it touched his soul. And he didn't care about the color barriers that existed. He just wanted to listen to this music. And then he falls for a black woman, which in 1950s Memphis is taboo.
Local actors take the stage with live music playing for this fun show, and they say this story speaks to them on a personal level and is an example of just how powerful music can be.
We have this scene together where, you know, obviously like we make amends, we're becoming friends, and music really did that for me. And I feel like it It happens in musicals, it happens in real life. Music is just very powerful.
Terrell Hunt, the actor who portrays Del Rey, a protective big brother, says he also relates to his character in the same way.
Like, I have sisters and I'm very overprotective, and any sign of danger I want to jump in there and stop them. So my character actually is trying to protect my little sister Felicia from what this white boy is trying to do in the 50s, which is very dangerous and could bring danger to my sister as well. And I love the show really particularly right now because that is an issue that was happening back in the 1950s. Obviously right now in 2018, we are still facing some of those issues, but I like the way that this show actually brings out the positive of that, and that positive to me is just like breaking down barriers and overcoming those obstacles. And then what better way to do it than with music?
The show's director says shows like this are still important and serve as a reminder.
Something like this reminds us that of where we came from and the work that we still have to do.
The Center for the Arts is a great addition to the Murfreesboro community, not only for its theater shows, but also the art gallery and its great children's programs. Reporting for CityTV, I'm Michael Linn White. City officials recently broke ground for the City of Murfreesboro's 13th city school being built off of St. Andrews Drive near Veterans Parkway.
And good afternoon to each one of you on this nice, warm, but we do have a little bit of a breeze, and that's good. We're glad to have you here as we begin our official opening of our newest elementary school in Murfreesboro City School System. My name is Butch Campbell. I am chairman of the Board of Education. Just chairman, that's it, okay? I'm like everybody else, one vote and one thing.
You know, as we're standing here, I want to tell you a little backstory. The school board worked on with site selectors to come up with how and where we were going to build our next school. And this went on for a couple years, I think, right, Dr. Gilbert? And we were looking on 99. We looked on several different spots, and it came back as this site. It just so happened I was in the Bahamas on a vacation trip, and I said, we were emailing back and forth, and we said, okay, we're going to set up a conference call to be able to try to work on getting this site taken care of. So we get this conference call, we're on the phone, and it's my personal phone, so the media who are out there, the city didn't pay for this. We get done, and it was the most expensive call that I've ever had since I've been a mayor. So I called Linda after that, and I said, Linda, it's just not going to happen. And so we start going to plan B, plan C, and we kept coming back to this site. So long story short, we try and we make another run at this site again, and it comes back, it's not going to happen. So I call Linda again, and I said, Linda, it's just not going to happen. So third time being a charm, we end up making one more run at this piece of property, and the third time it worked out. And it by far, looking at where we are, looking at the location, looking at what's around us, this will be one of the most accessible and best school sites that we have. We're going to continue to put resources where it matters, and that's going to be the children in our community. We're excited for this school site. I can't say I begged for this piece of property more than I begged for my wife to marry me, which was a lot. And this site is going to be something that we're going to be proud of for many, many years to come.
I don't know if any of you are movie buffs, but there's a movie called Field of Dreams, and it's about baseball. And in that movie, there's a cornfield. And what they say in that movie is, if you build it, they will come. Well, we're building it. We're not quite ready for them to come out of the cornfield. We got to wait a little bit longer.
City of Murfreesboro, well done. The school is for 1,000 students. It's about a little over 140,000 square feet. There's 51 regular classrooms, 2 special ed classrooms. The gymnasium has a full-size high school court. We have a nice media center. So we're excited.
I just want to also share how much I really appreciate the work the city has done on this. I know the timeline that we put you all under, and thank you so much. I know a little bit of what Mayor McFarland went through when he was trying to get this land, but I do think it's great land. And here's the other thing I know. If you look over here, what you see is you see a lot of rocks. If you look over here, you see the foundation. You are the foundation for this school. Those of you who have had a role to play in getting the land, those of you I look at and I see people who understand what we're trying to do with applied learning, chamber folks that are here. I look at and I see principals and assistant principals and teachers and central office folks and city people and business folks. But I also look at and I see the children. And so I think we've applauded just about everybody today except the children. So at this time, would you please join me in giving a round of applause to the children?
All right, 3, 2, 1, throw!
Environmental issues are always problems cities and counties have to deal with. Now in Rutherford County, there will be a specific time and specific judge that will oversee all the cases in court.
Rutherford County will hold environmental court, which is designed to deal strictly with local environmental issues, such as illegal dumping, neglected property, safety and health code violations, animal control, and illegal burning. Environmental issues have always been an important matter for Rutherford County courts, however, have never had their own time and been put before their own judge in court. There are 2 reasons for having a specific date and time for this court to take place. The first reason is because of time and money.
As far as getting everybody in one court to where it would save the county money, because if we do a court at 1 o'clock, every person that's cited someone can come at 1 o'clock and know it'll get done within that hour. Our dockets are so big that if they come at 8:30, the normal docket, then it might not be till 1 o'clock that the district attorney or assistant district attorney could get to them. And so then that's all that time that the employees are sitting around waiting, and some are on overtime, and so it's probably more efficient to do it this way.
Second reason is because we're a growing county. We have a limited resource in the landfill that's slowly, capacity is diminishing, and we're having to take different steps in order to deal with some of the after effects that we're seeing there, such as illegal dumping. When we started to charge for people to get rid of their televisions, to dispose of their TVs or computer screens, we saw an increase in the number of people that were illegally dumping televisions on the side of the road. So we know that, as resources get constrained, as they are with our solid waste program, that people are going to take the path of least resistance sometimes, and we're going to have to uphold the law and hold these people, accountable and responsible for anything that's illegal.
Rutherford County's deputy mayor had nice things to say about Judge Oshad stepping up to take on this monthly environmental court.
I have been approached by many of the department heads within Rutherford County saying that we are not placing appropriate emphasis on some of these environmental issues that we're seeing. So I brought that up during the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. All the judges agreed with it, and then we were able to get Judge Oshad to agree to hold a specific docket for the environmental court. So she's the first person to step up and say yes, and so we jumped on that opportunity.
There's about four in the state of Tennessee that we're kind of mimicking and trying to direct our court that way, because they're being very successful. It seems like when you find people and you hit them where it hurts, they'll stop doing it.
And so we just want to make sure that we're, upholding the laws as they have been written, and this isn't a gotcha type of court. We will issue warnings first and make sure everybody knows, what the standard is, and give them an opportunity to correct that. And if they won't correct it, then they'll go in front of a judge.
It's time to start protecting Rutherford County. And if it means for us to have a court to see the repeat offenders and to help with the economics of our officers and our employees of Rutherford County, then we can do it, and we should do it. This is a phone age. I mean, we want people to take pictures and catch them in the act, and that's what it takes. And so everybody, I want a responsible citizen to show it and to protect your surroundings.
I think that we need to look for opportunities where the county can work together with any of the municipalities as we face, tighter and tighter, resources from a revenue perspective, and so we can help each other. I mean, it's better when we're all rowing in the same direction versus when we're rowing in opposite directions in the same boat, Rutherford County. If there's a problem with a pet or an animal, they'll call our PAWS office. If there's a problem with a buildings code issue, they'll call building codes. Or if they don't know who to call, they can always call the sheriff's department.
Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue receives an award for excellence in historic preservation from a national organization. At the Tennessee Fire Chiefs Association's annual conference at Embassy Suites, Fire Rescue Chief Mark Folks accepted an award during the opening ceremonies for the preservation of the department's Aaron steam fire engine from 1892.
We found the 1892 steam engine over in Cannonsburg Village, kind of in a state of disrepair, and made the decision with council approval to restore it and bring it back to its former glory.
This award comes from a nomination from the East Tennessee Fire Historical Society. The steam engine was the city of Murfreesboro's first piece of firefighting equipment. After it was taken out of service, it was stored in one of the sheds at Cannonsburg Village for years.
As far as we know, there's probably less than 10 of these of our model that are left still in the United States or in the world.
It took a community effort getting it restored with the help of Mid-South Bus Center, an Amish family from Lawrenceburg, and Stones River Woodworking Club.
It took rebuilding the wheels and getting those completely rebuilt and getting a lot of framework done and painting and restoration of the entire apparatus. It took a long time and it took a lot of effort, and it was an amazing thing to try to get it restored, and it's neat to have that recognized.
The engine will be on display at the new fire station on Medical Center Parkway.
We actually have where the public will be able to see it through the front window, and we have a history and education center there at that station to where we can kind of capitalize on the history of Murfreesboro Fire Rescue, as well as educate our kids and the public or anybody else, our citizens that want to come in and learn about the different various things that we do as well.
Murfreesboro is a pet-friendly city, and now one of the most fur-friendly places in town is getting a makeover with the help of a $25,000 grant. Jenny and Randy Boyd were attending a nationwide conference in Arizona when, after a derogatory comment about Tennessee and its lack of dog parks, the idea was born to do something about it, and they decided on a grant. Murfreesboro Parks and Rec submitted what the Boyd Foundation called an excellent application and won. This grant will fund much-needed amenities for the 12-year-old Bark Park located at the General Bragg Trailhead.
It was a contest, and so there was over 50 cities from across the state that competed. Murfreesboro won because you had vision, you had lots of local engagement, you had a great plan.
New amenities include improvements to water stations. They're a popular spot and tend to get muddy. Exercise equipment like tunnels, hoops, and ramps, and much more. Officials say they hope to have all of this installed in the next 6 months to a year.
Sometimes we're trying to stay ahead of growth so much that a lot of our budget goes to keeping up with growth and new facilities, that sometimes we struggle to upgrade our old facilities, and this is going to allow us to do that here at the Bark Park.
The Bark Park is a very popular place, and the improvements will be a great addition to the city and for our four-legged friends.
In the afternoon, sometimes we'll have 30, 40, 50 cars here, so it's a happening place, and everyone's just having a big time.
On the campus of Hopgood Elementary, the Technology Engagement Center recently opened. This center will help residents that don't have access to the internet. It will offer desktop and laptop computers, 3D printer, and technology classes.
On behalf of the Rutherford County Library System Board of Directors, we're excited to have everyone out here today as we open our Technology Engagement Center. What started as an idea on a few individuals becomes a reality today thanks to many people. We are fortunate to live in a progressive and a generous community and state. It's a support we receive from many public organizations, nonprofits, businesses, and private individuals that make this possible. Among our financial major supporters are the state of Tennessee, Rutherford County, the city of Murfreesboro, and the Christy Houston Foundation.
It really says a lot about the leadership here in Rutherford County. It says a lot about the strong leadership you have, the Friends Group, Rita Shacklett, the Regional Library System, who have all come together and make this happen. I'm just a guy who happened to show up with a check one day. And what's not really told today are the thousands of people and tens of thousands of people over the years who are going to use this fantastic facility for things that we can't even imagine that they're going to be utilizing the technology for. This is really an investment for decades and future generations of Rutherford County and in our state. I hope that other librarians around the state, other leaders around the state will come and look at this facility and see the successes and the stories that are going to come out of the investment that's been made here today.
This is another great day in our community. We seem to excel in creating and supporting amazing programs around here. From the Discovery Center to Special Kids to the Dyslexia Center, what was once known as Project Health, and many more. And today, this Technology Engagement Center, which could be just as easily named the Technology Empowerment Center, because that's what we will do here. We will empower people in our community to make their lives better. From families with small children, to temporary homeless, who need jobs, to small businesses who have a vision and have the means, but they need a technological boost up, and that's what we'll be able to provide. By making their lives better, we will make our community better. And that's what we hope to accomplish here.
When I was asked to talk about our journey to where we are here today, and began thinking back over this project, 4 words or themes kept coming to my mind. First one was dreams, that's plural. Conversations, and there were dozens upon dozens upon dozens of conversations. Commitments, again, plural. You've heard all the commitments that have been made so far. And community, that's singular. Although we're here in a beautiful new building, this is much more than the bricks and mortar. This is about a huge group of committed citizens that rallied around some dreams and through many conversations leading to large commitments, all to enhance the lives of the citizens of Murfreesboro and Rutherford County.
Gary said something about the Limeball Public Library System, which is what we've been known for many years. And last year we changed our legal name to the Rutherford County Library System because that's what we encompass. We serve the whole county. And our funding, for those that don't know, we are not city employees, we are not county employees. We're employees of our library board. So we get funding from the city of Murfreesboro, the town of Smyrna, city of Eagleville, and Rutherford County. And that's how we operate. We have a board of 13 members, 11 library board members, and 2 regional library representatives that guide us, direct us, help us form policies, procedures, help us dream big dreams and accomplish it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Tech Center is now open with temporary operating hours, Monday through Thursday, noon to 6 p.m., Friday and Saturday, noon to 5 p.m., Sunday, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., with regular hours coming soon. With school starting back, it can be a stressful time for children and parents of any age. Here are some practical back-to-school tips to make the process a little easier.
School starts soon here in Murfreesboro, and whether your child is entering for the first time or they're older and know what to expect, the new school year can bring its own set of challenges. But with a little effort and planning, your child can transition from summer to school in no time. Murfreesboro City Schools Director Dr. Linda Gilbert says, for starters, one of the first and most important things for kids of any age is sleep.
The research is showing us more and more and more that our children really need to get plenty of rest at night. So I think it's important, regardless of the age of the child, to have that routine where you're winding down at night, where you don't have the television, you don't have the electronic media, you don't have the iPads before bed, but just making sure that there's that downtime. And I think we find that true of not just children, but also adults.
Along with getting enough rest, there are many other things you can do to help you and your child start the new year with ease. Busy Murfreesboro mom Abby Rosser, who has kids in school from 12th to 1st grade, shares some of the ways she keeps her kids engaged all summer long.
The closer we get to the school year starting, we start rearranging all the bedtime schedule and trying to eat all at the earlier, and you kind of alter that as you get closer, so it's not this huge surprise.
Rosser also has another clever idea that kept her 3 kids off the couch and active during the summer.
So when my older 3 were younger, I would put little pedometers, you can get them pretty cheap at Walmart or whatever, and clip them onto their pants, and it clicks every time they take a step. And so they all together, all 3 of them together, had to equal 30,000 steps, so an average about 10,000 steps per kid. And once they got to that number, then they would get to watch TV that afternoon.
She says this fun activity pushed back TV until later in the day and even integrated math skills. And it's something her older kids seem to have carried with them.
They have that in their head. I think it's like ingrained in them to know I shouldn't spend my whole day. That's a waste of my day.
Of course, the summer is for playing and having fun, and certain things you may already be doing are helping your child more than you know in as little as 20 minutes a day.
I just think it's always important for parents to read with their children. We have a campaign called Read 20 because we know if students read or are read to 20 minutes a day, their achievement goes up dramatically. And so especially in the summer, they call it the summer slide, we'll see a slide in student achievement. And so when students come back in, let's say from 3rd to 4th grade, their reading scores actually go down. But if parents will just read with their children 20 minutes a day, then that summer slide goes away.
Anything you can do to incorporate learning into your child's day will help make starting school that much easier. Murfreesboro City Schools registration is open from July 24th to July 31st, and first day of school is August 1st. Reporting for CityTV, I'm Michael Linn White.
In other news, the City of Murfreesboro has launched a new Development Services Division as the first major step to reorganize the city's administrative structure for enhanced customer service. City Manager Craig Tyndall has appointed Sam Huddleston to serve as Executive Director for the newly reorganized Development Services Division. Huddleston has previously served as Assistant City Engineer for 2 years and 17 years as Environmental Engineer for the city. Planning Director Gary Whitaker has become the Assistant City Manager for Development and Coordination in the City Manager's office. Whitaker has served as Planning Director since January 2016. Whitaker began his career with the city in February 1988 in the Building and Codes Department. A Public Works division has also been created. This division brings together the engineering, transportation, streets, and urban environmental departments. Chris Griffith has become the executive director of this division. Chris will remain in the city engineer and lead the engineering department, which includes the streets division. City Manager Craig Tyndall has appointed Donald Anthony as Director of City of Murfreesboro Planning Department, replacing Gary Whitaker, who was promoted to Assistant City Manager. Anthony has served as Principal Planner for the City Planning Department since 2015. Anthony was a planning supervisor for Historic Franklin, Tennessee from 2012 to 2015 before beginning work for the City of Murfreesboro as a Principal Planner. He has also served as a Deputy Director of Planning for the City of Conway, Arkansas, and as a Senior Planner for the Memphis and Shelby County Division of Planning and Development from 2005 to 2008. Donald has been instrumental in guiding various planning studies that will direct future development in downtown Murfreesboro and redevelopment of the historic Bottoms area. His background and leadership as a certified planner is well respected, both internally and externally, among developers and builders in Middle Tennessee. 4 longtime Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue Department employees are retiring after a combined 131 years of service to the city. Steve Melton, 28 years of service, retired July 2nd, 2018. William Billy Sauls, 30 years of service, retired July 2nd, 2018. Keith Bratcher, 33 years of service, retired July 18th, 2018. Jeff Bratcher, 40 combined years of service, retiring August 13th, 2018. We are grateful for the years of dedication these gentlemen gave the department and the citizens of Murfreesboro, and we appreciate their families for sharing them with us every third day. Well, that's it for this edition of In the City. As always, for more information about the City of Murfreesboro or any of the stories you've seen here, you can always visit our website at www.murfreesborotn.gov. And if you want to see one of the stories that you've seen today or catch up on some of the latest city news, you can always visit the City of Murfreesboro's YouTube channel. I'm Michael Linn White, and until next time, we look forward to seeing you in the city.